D2 Word Life here with Mutton Chop fan Riptides.
No, it's D2 Mutton Small Ball Life.
No.
And 2 centimeter.
No.
2 centimeter Slim Jim.
Thank God. Oh, thank God you described yourself that way because no.
Oh, I know it was you.
You can insult me all you want. You're more like one. It's like you're more like one of them small cocktail sausages that they serve at Thanksgiving dinner.
Oh, I know that's you.
Speaking of Thanksgiving, at time of recording, Thanksgiving is literally tomorrow at time of recording this. But, that's not what we're focused on. Instead, we are focusing on the 2002 Survivor Series, which took place on November 17, 2002, and this was a production of Raw and SmackDown back when the brands were split. And it took place in New York City at Madison Square Garden with an attendance of 17,930. It's ironic because this is funny. This is the second event that we freaking reviewed this month that took place in MSG. Yeah, but we'll see if it's just as good as the last event that we reviewed from Madison Square Garden, the other one being Mania 20 that we did a few weeks back.
No.
And of course, the commentators for this event were Jim Ross and Jerry Lawler representing Raw and Michael Golden-Taz representing SmackDown. And of course, like usual, the Spanish commentators were Hugo and Carlos. I feel like I always have to give them a mention.
Yes.
And shout out to the Sunday Night Heat match that took place prior to this event, which was Lance Storm and William Regal defeating Goldust and the Hurricane in a tag team match.
Dust Storm?
Yes, if you want to call it that. Yeah, Dust Storm, that's what it was.
Or Hornest.
Anyway, the show started off with the opening package hype video featuring the rivalry between Lesnar and Big Show from the SmackDown brand, and also advertising the Elimination Chamber match for the Raw brand for the World Heavyweight title. The first ever Elimination Chamber match, I may add here.
Yeah, and also, someone that comes in later, holla, if you hear me.
Don't remind me. This was just a few short months before that dreadful feud, you ass, that we already looked at, and you hated it.
I may have hated it, but I still like Scott Steiner.
Yep. Yeah, and then we get to the opening contest of the match, which was the Elimination Tables match. It featured the team of Bubba Ray Dudley, Spike Dudley, and Jeff Hardy taking on 3 Men in Mourning, which was Rosie, Jamal, and your boy Rico.
Nope.
You knew I was going to take the piss out of it when I realized we're watching a Rico match with these jokes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
the late great Paul and the late great Rosie.
Yeah. It's like people remember Rosie, especially nowadays, as Roman Reigns' brother, but Jamal, otherwise better known later on as Umaga.
Umaga!
Or the way William
Regal would say, Umaga!
Umanga, whatever, but it was the same guy, right?
He is.
Start off the match, freaking dominant, but the Dudleys and Hardys sent freaking 3 men wearing out of the ring, and then 3 men wearing caught Spike when he tried to an attack. Then Jeff went over the top rope and took them all out on the floor. Good extreme moment there to start it off.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, and the only way to be eliminated is to be thrown to a table, and this freaking continued until all three members of a team were thrown through a table.
Yep.
Yeah, and then Spike did hit a Hurricane Rana and Jamal. And then freaking Spike went up to the top rope and did the what's up drop with Bubba onto Jamal. Typical Dudley spot here. And I'm sorry, but freaking Bubba Ray and Spike teaming up together as an incarnation of Dudley Boys doesn't feel right, but we'll get to how this match ended in a bit. Right?
Yeah.
Then Jeff went to the high rope and jumped off it with a leg drop onto the midsection or crotch of your boy Rico, knocking the chops right off of him. No, imagine if that actually happened, though.
Yes.
Yeah, and then Boa freaking got that look in his eye and told both of his partners to get the tables, which prior to the match, these tables were all surrounding the ring.
Well, he slapped both of them and said, "Get the tables."
Yep. Of course, that's when Rosie came in and hit a clothesline to Bubba, knocking him down. And then Rosie also hit a back body drop on Jeff that sent him over the top rope to the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Spike was propped up against the table, and then Rosie went in a charge, put Spike through the table, but Spike moved out of the way, and Rosie went to the table himself, which didn't count as an elimination, I guess. But
No, it doesn't, because they have to be put through, and he ran through.
Yeah, but then explain to me right after this in future tables matches, if they put themselves through a table, it counts. These rules are confusing later on. Right?
Well, a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make any sense. They always change the rules every year. Every time. Right? Yeah, and then freaking Jeff Hardy off the top rope. Jumped off the top rope onto Rosie, but it's like, but freaking there was some kind of miscommunication. But Rosie ended up dropping him with a splash. Or Jeff ended up dropping Rosie with a splash. Right onto Jeff, whatever. It was a botch, I think, right there. Right.
Or Jeff jumped off and Rosie just slapped him away.
Yeah, or whatever that was. I think Rosie was actually supposed to catch him, but nope. Kind of bitch slapped him out. Right.
He's like, bitch.
Yeah, but back in the ring, Spike nearly put Rico through a table, but 3-minute warning saved Mr. Mutton Chops and slammed Spike through a table face first, causing Spike to be eliminated.
Yep, there goes Dustin.
Shit. I wish I was as skinny as Spike Dudley. I wouldn't be so damn fat.
They went for the Dudley dog, got caught. 3-minute warning, Rosie and Jamal picked his ass up. Fucking Rico dropped he went for a Hurricane Rana and fucking got stopped yet again. Fucking Rico was laughing at him, making fun of him or something. And then fucking I told him to fucking fling him back, and he went face first through the damn fucking table, which knocked his ass out.
Yep, and then shortly after Spike was eliminated, Jamal and Rosie went up back to the top rope, but both of them were knocked out by Bubba and Jeff, respectively.
Yep.
Of course, Rico did manage to knock Bubba down with a spin kick, which I found shocking. I'm like, huh?
Well, he got kicked in the face.
Yep. You think someone of Bubba's stature would probably reverse that or no sell it, but nope, compared to someone Rico's stature. Yeah, then Rosie then brawled with Jeff into the crowd. Into the crowd area right there. Like this little area, set up a table near one of the exits, right? Same spot where I believe this infamous moment happened a couple years prior. Yeah, then Rosie and Jamal worked on Bubba in the ring, but Bubba pulled Rico in front of him, so Jamal splashed Rico in the corner instead of with a splash that was intended for Bubba instead. So yeah, you could say your boy got pancaked. Right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and then freaking Bubba hit the Bubba Bomb on Jamal in the ring. It's like Bubba then went back into the crowd and attacked Rosie. Attacked Rosie and hit him in the back with a weapon. Then Bubba put Rosie on the table. Then Jeff climbed up to the top of this, in the middle of a crowd, this hallway structure, exit structure, whatever you want to call it. And just like what happened, just like what happened to Bubba Ray a few years earlier, in another great spot, Jeff actually hit a Swanton bomb on Rosie through the table.
Yep.
Remnants of the 2000 Royal Rumble spot, which we're going to have to review one of these days. That was actually a good event.
The 2000 Royal Rumble was the first ever tables match versus Hardys and Dudleys.
So we're evened up now. So Rosie was eliminated by Jeff, right?
Yep.
So now we're down to Jamal and Rico against Dudley and Hardy, right?
Yep.
Of course, Jamal attacked Bubba back there and brought him back to the ringside area. And then Jamal then set up a table in the ring, and then Rico went to the top for a moonsault. Yep, and he went to the top up. Then Jeff freaking came up. Eventually, Jeff came up, struck the ropes, knocked him down. And apparently, this is what got him. Apparently, this was, I guess Rico was on the top rope for a good 10 seconds, yelling, "God damn it, Jeff, hurry up!" That was edited out of the final broadcast. I guess freaking Jeff missed his cue, right?
Probably.
To do that, but eventually they got the spot in. So yeah, in a sense, Jeff is a dick to Rico's mutton chops, right?
Just like you're a dick to your own munching chops.
Yeah, of course, Jamal then knocked Jeff down. Afterwards, Bubba went for a back suplex off the top through a table, but Jamal moved the table out of the way, saving Rico's freaking backside and his mutton chops. Right?
Yeah.
Then Jeff came back in and hit a dropkick on Jamal. Yeah, then Hardy then threw a table at the head of Jamal, and then Hardy went to do his run across the guardrail spot where he jumped to his opponent from there on the outside. And then Jamal, with the table in hand, shoved it towards Jeff, and then Jeff went crashing head first into the table.
Yep.
Which, even though the table broke, it did not count on his elimination. And that looked nasty, right?
Yeah, you get fucking wood table thrown at your fucking head.
Yeah, whether it breaks or not, that still hurts, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and then Jamal then set up a table onto the floor. Yep, and put Jeff Hardy over it onto the table. He climbed up to the top rope and hit a splash of the table, thus eliminating Jeff Hardy.
Bye-bye, Jeff.
So now we're just down to Bubba against Rico and Jamal here.
Yep.
While this was happening, Bubba then went on the offense and started working on Rico in the ring, setting him up on the table, but Jamal showed up to save Rico and his mutton chops once again, right? Which I know made you very happy. You're like, Rico's going to win.
No.
Yeah, and then freaking Jamal and Bubba Ray Dudley then battle on the top rope, but Bubba then Bubba then performed a powerbomb on Jamal to the table, thus eliminating Jamal from the match.
Yep.
And it was at this moment Rico and his mutton chops knew, well, I'm fucked. Right?
See.
Now we're down to the last two, which was Bubba Dudley and Rico. But Jamal showed up to help Rico, along with Rosie. But Bubba managed to hit his belly suplex on Jamal, but Rosie came back in for another 3-on-1 assault here. Pretty much trying to steal the win, but surprise, surprise, Devon Dudley making a return. After being Reverend Devon on SmackDown for so long at this point, ran down to make the save to a huge standing ovation, right?
Yep.
And then Devon freaking tossed tossed the 2-3 Rosie and Jamal out of the ring. Then Devon and Bubba Ray freaking goddamn performed the 3D on Rico through a table, making Bubba Ray Dudley the winner and sole survivor of this match.
Yep.
So yeah, after the match, Bubba Ray stared at Devon and then they celebrated as everyone knew that they were now reunited after the brand split. Right?
Yep.
If you ask me, separating the Dudleys in early 2002 was a mistake anyway, and I guess they did this to retcon that. If you ask me, right?
Well, also, it was leading up to Paul Heyman coming back with ECW.
Yep. So, your thoughts on this opener, this 6-man table match?
It was good for a good match.
Oh yeah, by the way, this is the only time I'll ever be mentioning Soul Survivors or something, not because there was no traditional Survivor Series tag matches at this event.
Well, they didn't have Survivor Series tag team matches at that point.
Well, not for this one. They had in previous years, but I believe this was the final Survivor Series that did not have traditional Survivor Series tag matches until 2022 when War Games got introduced. So there you go. All right.
No.
And when I say when War Games got introduced, I mean on the main roster, because I know previous to 2022 they had War Games on the NXT roster.
Yeah.
For those wondering, right?
Yep.
So yeah, I thought it was a good match to open up the crowd. Really got the crowd into it and realized that the crowd were in for a wild night. Anyway, after the match, they showed Stacy Keibler over at The World, which is formerly known as WWF New York before the name change. Their little failed restaurant and bar area, which would be shut down less than a year later after this.
She was in a sea of testicles.
Is it bad when I heard that? I know freaking she was referring to Test and his fans, but I facepalmed hearing this. Hearing that, I'm just like, son of a bitch. Really? I bet.
And one of my favorite bands of all time, Saliva, was there.
Oh, going back to the subject, when you were a kid watching WWE around this time, I bet you were a huge testicle, weren't you?
Oh, I know you were.
I bet you're like, I'm not even going to dignify that with a response.
Yeah, no. My response to that is I know you were a testicle fan.
Actually, I never was really a fan of the late Andrew Martin Test, but good as that guy and his legacy. Right.
He was a good wrestler for what he did.
Of course, yeah, they were at The World, which would be shut down, which would go out of business literally less than a year later after this. Of course, that's where Stacy Keibler introduced everyone to the band Saliva, where they sang their song Always.
Yes, one of my favorite songs of all time.
Which was the theme song for this event, by the way.
Yes.
And they showed videos of highlights for matches that were to come on the show.
The titles for the tag team, the Elimination Chamber,
In a match,
the Big Show versus Brock Lesnar,
the women's style match, and the next match we're about to talk about. By the way, I am not giving any rating to the freaking concert here. It was there to be there, right? Thought it was a good song.
5 out of 5.
I guess obviously, I mean, that song's a banger, so. And goddamn, that showed our age.
Dude, I have that song on my phone.
Exactly.
No, I have that whole CD on my phone. Literally, that whole fucking CD that they have with Superstar and everything.
Yep. Yep, and I bet when they sang that song, you were thinking to yourself, oh shit, I have that whole album here. What? That shows your age.
Yes.
Oh well, so back
This was
I'm from the same era.
33 fucking years ago. Or 30-something years ago.
Well, the 2002 Survivor Series, that time recording was 22 years ago.
Yes.
So it's like, yeah, either way, it's good. It was a good show. Good little mini song concert, whatever. Hyping the match up, and then they showed Rob Van Dam stretching backstage, getting ready for the Elimination Chamber main event.
Yep.
Yeah, and then it was time to start the SmackDown portion of this show when Michael Cole and Taz were the announcers for this next matchup, which was the Cruiserweight Championship match between Cruiserweight Champion Jamie Noble with Nidia in his corner taking on Billy Kidman.
Yep.
And I'll make one thing straight. I know this is going to be an unpopular opinion, but Billy Kidman's theme song that he's well known for at this time period, I actually liked. Even though some of the fan base did not.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually liked that theme song, but I know most of the old fan base our age didn't really like it. I had no problem with it.
It was okay. I didn't dislike it.
I mean, I just know there's a lot of people our age that go around saying that theme song wasn't really good or it didn't fit the character. I had no issue with it being Kidman's theme song. That's all I'm saying. Right?
Yeah.
Anyway, the match.
Like I didn't dislike it. I didn't really like it. It was okay.
Yeah.
I'm not saying nothing bad about the band that sang it or anything. I'm just saying it was
Yep. But anyway, it's like Noble was in control early on when the match started when he gave Kidman a neck breaker to take control. Yeah, and then Noble then sent Kidman out of the ring and nailed suicide dive on the outside of the ring onto Kidman.
Yep.
So the champion was in control, at least in the early going, but Noble's momentum got stopped when Kidman came back to Noble with a drop kick. After Noble jumped off the top rope to do some sort of attack, what we call a flying nothing. That's when you know, okay, it's going to be reversed. All right?
Yep.
Then Kidman nailed a fireman's carry into the knee, into the back. Right? Backbreaker.
Yep.
Pretty much fireman's carry into a backbreaker. That's what that was. And then Noble then battled back and actually hit a Falcon Arrow onto Kidman. Right. Yeah, then Kidman then hit a slam that drove Noble's stomach first into the mat. So yeah. That looked like it hurt, right?
Yep.
But then again, you could say that with all these moves. It looks like it hurt.
Well, I also like how Taz Jamie Noble probably has something up his sleeves. Wait, he's not wearing a shirt, so he has no sleeves.
Exactly. Okay, Doc, obvious. Anything else you want to point out? Hey, there's a deadly elimination chamber hanging above the ring.
No, it was funny as fuck. Because Taz was like, I bet he has some tricks up his sleeve. And he's like, wait, he's not wearing a shirt. He doesn't have any sleeves.
And in other news, grass is green, sky is blue, and, well, this review is still going on. Anything else you want to point out?
You're a dumbass.
No.
Yes.
Yep. Nope.
Yep.
But anyway, Noble was in position for the shooting star press, but Nidia got involved by pulling Noble out of the ring to avoid the Kidman's finishing maneuver. Right?
Yep.
So Kidman hit a crossbody block into the floor that took Noble out. And then once back in the ring, once those two got back in the ring, Kidman hit a slingshot leg drop for a 2 count onto Noble. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Kidman ran to the ropes, ran the ropes to do some other like attack on the Noble, but we'll never know because Nidia grabbed his leg. And then
he was gonna do that 450 splash that he normally did to end the match early, but Nidia fucking grabbed his ass out of the ring.
Yep. Yeah, and then Nidia slapped freaking Kidman, which obviously does not cause a disqualification. In any other circumstances, it would. Right? Or at least a manager being ejected, but nope, that's not what happened. Of course, there was all for nothing, but Kidman did battle back regardless and sent Noble crashing into her when she was propped up on the apron.
Yeah.
So yeah, I should point out that Nidia was on the apron when she slapped Kidman too, by the way.
Yep.
Then Kidman hit the BK bomb, or what you like to call it, the Burger King bomb, onto Noble for a 2 count.
You don't think of Billy Kidman bomb, you just think of BK as like Burger King?
No. I know, that was confused. We were talking about that during the WrestleMania 20 review, and you said the same damn thing. Basically.
Make it fucking make sense.
Of course, freaking Kidman got a backslide, but Noble got out of it and hit a Tiger Bomb for a 2 count. The Tiger Bomb was Noble's finisher. At this point, this was a couple years before he had that submission hold. Right?
Yep.
Yeah, and then both men went up to the top rope with both of them fighting on the top rope, and then Kidman slammed Noble off the top rope face first, with a DDT up for a 2 count, DDT off the rope for a 2 count. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, then Noble then set up Kidman. Kidman was on his feet. Yeah, whatever. I'm fucking goddamn. I fucking can't talk for shit today, apparently. So yeah, Noble set up Kidman so that Kidman was on the top rope and nailed the DDT from there for a 2 count. Right?
Yep.
Pretty much what we would see Randy Orton do later on in his career. That's what I'm getting at. I was doing the draping DDT. That's what I was trying to say. All right.
Yep.
But it was a draping DDT off the top row, right? Then Kidman then came back with an enziguri to Noble, which put Noble down. Noble went up to the top rope, and Nidia tried to distract some more, but Kidman kicked her off this time. And then Noble tried to get up, but Kidman kicked him down as well off the rope. And then Kidman then hit a shooting star press finisher to win the match. And win and become a new cruiserweight champion here.
Yep.
Oh, and by the way, this is a trend you'll see throughout this whole show, by the way. But if you've never seen this event before, I ain't spoiling it for you until you gotta reach the end. But your thoughts on this cruiserweight match, despite my flub up way to describe what happened?
It was okay.
It's one of the better cruiserweight matches I've seen during this time period.
Yeah.
So yeah, everyone was all cheering about Billy Kidman winning, which was great because everyone was tired of Noble's reign, which Noble had that cruiserweight title for 5 months at this point.
Yep.
Yep, and instead of getting a goddamn double wide, they had to stick with that single wide because they couldn't afford a double wide anymore. I'm talking about Noble here.
Get him a single double wide. He moved out of there single wide. Now they have to buy another single wide to make it a double wide.
Living next to their goddamn living with their neighbors to sister fisters. Wait, what? Okay, I'm done with that one.
And their uncle, the uncle fisters.
Oh, wait a minute. Are we talking about Jamie Noble or his cousin the Godwins? Or his neighbors the Godwins here?
Both.
See, I thought the match was good. Not the greatest Cruiserweight Championship match I've seen, but, good enough. Kept the momentum of the show going.
Yeah.
Then we go to backstage where Angle was infuriated by this win. Of course, Angle was playing the heel, right? Of course, that wasn't the greater picture. The greatest picture is he was back there with his tag team partner, Benoit. And yeah, this was the time period where Benoit and Angle were still partners despite being rivals. I mean, we talked about this during the No Mercy 2002 review. Right. Oh, yeah, speaking of No Mercy 2002, we know that was your favorite storyline.
Fuck you.
Yeah, thank God they didn't reference that here. Because they were long done with that storyline. Thank God, am I right? Yeah, and then Angle told Benoit just to stay out of his way so they can win the tag team titles and then pretty much stay out of the captain's way. Benoit took offense to it, but eventually freaking Angle said that they can work together. If they work together, there's no one that can beat them. So Benoit just offered him a handshake, and then Angle got a pissed off look saying, I ain't gonna shake your hand. Tag team partners don't shake hands. Tag team partners, they gotta hug. And then Benoit looked reluctant when Angle was hugging on him.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I'm like, okay, this is weird.
A bald man with a toothless wonder and we're hugging.
And of course, we go backstage. We're also backstage. We seen Chris Jericho warming up and getting ready for the chamber match as well.
Yeah.
And then also back there was some like FU camera view shot of Victoria acting all crazy in the back when getting ready.
Oh, the F view.
Yes. Yeah.
Not F view, it's just F view.
I said F view, not FU.
You said FU view.
FU view. No, that would be the John Cena camera, which never existed. Anyway, Victoria was looking at
it existed, you just couldn't see it.
God damn it. You literally have to go there. Anyway, freaking Victoria was back there in her dressing room looking at a mirror or whatever, and she goes, mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the prettiest of them all? And they go, what do you mean it's Trish Stratus?
Trish is pretty. This is what I think, crack.
And then Craig breaking the mirror.
What are you staring at, ramp?
Yeah, and going all crazy psycho.
Yep.
She was acting like a Karen before the freaking term Karen even became a thing. Right?
She was acting like a Vicky before Vicky acted like Vicky.
You ask me, freaking Victoria was the original crazy woman here in WWE. And of course, they did air a video package hyping up the Trish Stratus Victoria match with their rivalry. Right?
Yeah.
And yes, Trish Stratus did defeat Victoria a month prior at the No Mercy event that we talked about to retain the title, but we all knew post-match that this rivalry wasn't over. Not yet by a long shot, right?
Well, because technically Victoria was supposed to win.
Yep.
And same thing Shawn Michaels said from back in the years earlier and said, I'm not going to drop my title to her. Which made her fucking get pissed off and kind of go nuts because she was supposed to hold it for a little bit.
Yeah, and then they did show the one part of the segment of this rivalry where Victoria did nail Trish in the head with a steel chair, thus kind of hyping this up why this is a hardcore women's title match.
Yep. Which they haven't had a hardcore women's title match since fucking 85, I think they said, or 87.
At this time. All right.
Yeah.
So yeah, this match hyped up as a women's championship match fought under hardcore rules. It's like Victoria came out, followed by Trish Stratus. Trish Stratus got a huge ovation coming out of the ring because she was, the face in this. And I liked how freaking, I think it was either Jim Ross or Jerry Lawler mentioned this. He goes, yeah. Or one of the announcers was like, yeah. Victoria has been freaking cuckoo since she was born, ever since her sister got freaking, crushed by that house.
That was Jerry.
And for those of you who didn't pick up on that reference, he was talking about the Wizard of Oz. Ugh.
He was saying that Victoria's sister was the Wicked Witch.
Yep. And I'm just like, yeah, there's a little nod, wink, wink to those who know. Right?
Knock, knock, wink, wink.
But the match started out with Victoria choking Trish with a ring jacket as soon as Trish got into the ring. Not even letting her complete her whole entrance here. Right? Then Victoria freaking took a broomstick handle and flew out of the arena on it. I mean, she choked Trish with the broomstick handle. Yes, they mentioned that in commentary too. Are you going to use that or are you going to fly off on it? Right? Pretty much calling Victoria a witch at this point. Right?
Well, she was known as the witch of the WWF.
Before they... and then freaking Trish fought back and slammed Victoria down to break free, obviously, of Victoria's rep, but that didn't phase her because Victoria then rammed Trish's head into the trash can lid. Yeah, there was like trash can lids, trash cans, assorted with a bunch of weapons around the ring. Yep. And then those two fought outside the ring with Victoria whipping Trish into the trash can. Right? AKA Matt's content, but that's a story for another day. No, I'm just kidding. Man, if he freaking hears that, he's going to be like, F you. Right? It's like back in the ring, slingshot leg. There was a slingshot leg drop by Victoria for a 2 count on the Trish. Then a trash can, and then freaking Victoria set a trash can up against the turnbuckle. But then Trish fought back and sent her into it, slingshot style, obviously. Right?
Yep.
Yeah, and then typical WWE with women's hardcore matches, Trish Stratus set up an ironing board in the corner and whipped Victoria into it for a 2 count.
Yep.
I'm not making any stereotypes. This was a different time. I'm just reporting what happened, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, then Trish freaking then took a Cinnabore cane or a kendo stick, whatever you want to call it, and nailed Victoria with it.
Kendo stick.
And then Victoria then nailed Trish in the face with a trash can lid as a little response to that kendo stick shot. Right?
Yep.
And I'm guessing the kendo stick shot busted Victoria open because she had a bloody nose here, probably broke her nose, right? When getting hit in the face with it. But, Victoria didn't care, right?
Yeah.
But then Trish nailed her with 2 trash can lid shots to knock Victoria out of the ring, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and on the outside, Tristan sent Victoria into the steel steps at ringside. How many times have we seen that before in these wrestling matches where a wrestler gets sent to the steel steps, hardcore match or not? Right?
Or not.
Like 11 times since we started this review. When you review these shows, that's a common spot you notice a lot of the time. Right?
Yep.
It's like back in the ring, Victoria got the upper hand on Trish when she nailed a power bomb onto Trish. Then Victoria then went to the outside and grabbed a mirror from out of the ring, a second one. And I'm like, God damn, you're going to have 14 years of bad luck if you break that one too. All right. Supposedly. Yep. But before Trish could use, or before Victoria can use the freaking mirror as a weapon, Trish kicked her and kicked her out to reverse it and got a chick kick onto Victoria for a 2 count. Yep. And then they did it. Yeah, and then they went out to the corner with Trish hitting a bulldog for a 2 count. Right?
Yep.
And let's face that bulldog wasn't even the freaking best looking one. But either way, it didn't get the job done. And then Victoria then performed a drop toe hold on Trish as Trish charged in with a cane or the kendo stick, whatever. And then Victoria went to the outside and sprayed Trish with a fire extinguisher. Or tried to spray her with a fire extinguisher, but the second time of asking, it actually worked. Right? There was a lot of botches in this match. Right?
No.
And of course, the fire extinguisher kind of blinded Trish. And then Victoria went in and hit a snap suplex on hit a snap suplex onto Trish for the pin in the win.
Yep.
And Victoria became the new women's champion here. Your thoughts on this hardcore women's title match?
Needed more hardcore violence.
Oh, you'll be getting a lot of violence in that main event. I understand why it had to be cut short like most of these matches were. Right? Was it the best hard-hitting, hardcore women's match I've seen? No. Have I seen better? Yes, especially in the current day. But, it is what it is, because the women didn't really get all these opportunities back then. So I feel like Trish and Victoria made the most of what they were given here.
Yeah.
And you know what? For what it was, you gotta think of behind here for what it was, it actually it wasn't that bad. I mean, we've seen worse women's matches from this era. You and I both know that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say this one for the time back then was decent.
Yep.
Of course, we go backstage again and of course, after the match, we go backstage where Booker T was shown warming up and getting ready. This would be a trend with all of them, right?
Yep.
Yeah, then afterwards also backstage, Raw General Manager Eric Bischoff was interviewed by Jonathan Coachman. Oh, Eric Bischoff and Jonathan Coachman, 2 of your favorite people.
Just because I like to beat your ass with Eric Bischoff is funny as fuck.
We all know Eric Bischoff is your second biggest boy, next to Rico.
No, we all know that you like Eric Bischoff.
Of course, Bischoff was bragging.
You beat off his Bischoffs.
No. It's like, no. Anyway, Bischoff was going around saying in the back that he has outdone Stephanie McMahon by coming up with the Elimination Chamber match. This Elimination Chamber match was all in response to that Hell in a Cell match that Stephanie McMahon put together with Taker and Lesnar the month prior, as we all know, right?
Hell in a Cell.
Yes. The No Mercy event the month prior. Then Big Show came up saying, huh, what's up, stranger? Then he told Bischoff saying that he made a mistake by trading him to SmackDown, and Bischoff was going to sit and watch while Big Show walks out as WWE champion.
Yeah.
And this all stems back to the No Mercy encounter that Eric Bischoff and Big Show had when Big Show freaking grabbed Bischoff and said he's one very angry giant. You know, that little backstage skit. So this is just a small continuation finishing off that. Right?
Yeah, well, because you were saying, to finish The Undertaker, which he never did.
Of course, afterwards, WWE Champion Brock Lesnar was shown backstage with Paul Heyman.
Yep.
And Heyman said that he was nervous and noted that Lesnar had been coughing up blood since he had a broken rib. And Lesnar even said, and Paul even said to Lesnar that you guys just haven't been the same since Hell in a Cell with The Undertaker. Right? Which that match was a great match, by the way. Right?
Yeah.
And Lesnar's ribs were all taped up, but then Heyman said he'll do anything in his power to make sure that my client leaves here tonight as WWE champion. Oh boy,
So
oh
you
boy.
didn't say which client, though, did he?
He just said my client. That could imply to anybody, but at the time, people were thinking, okay, his client's Brock, since that was the only person Heyman was associated with at that time.
Yeah, no, I had a feeling that Paul Heyman was going to fuck over Brock Lesnar.
But, yeah. But yeah, the next match was for the WWE Championship between WWE Champion Brock Lesnar with Paul Heyman in his corner taking on the Big Show. And of course, for the entrances, always they showed the video package hyping up the story between Big Show and Lesnar, which Lesnar was actually at this point he was kind of like the tweener between going from heel to face following his match with the Undertaker. And Big Show, he was just, dominant, coming over from the Raw brand after being traded and pretty much established himself as the big, nasty bully heel when he took out The Undertaker, when he threw him off the stage on SmackDown, writing Taker out for 3 months.
Yep.
Which we all know the reason why The Undertaker was off of TV at this point, but I digress on that one. Taker would make his comeback at the Royal Rumble, but we're not talking about the Rumble.
At that time was having his baby.
Yeah, Taker would return at the Rumble, but we ain't talking about the Rumble. We already did months ago, and yeah, boy, that was a good review. Right?
We'll review it again if I feel like it.
We ain't re-reviewing that garbage.
You will re-review it if I say so, bitch.
But then Big Show pretty much saying he's been dominant, saying that there's no way Lesnar can beat him. And even Paul Heyman said that there's no way you beat him. You can't get him up for an F5 with busted ribs after multiple attacks from Big Show. You can't even suplex the guy. And it's pretty bad. Even Big Show during this promo, this high video said, even your own manager doesn't believe you can beat me. That's pretty bad. Right? They had to play that story.
Because they were saying that, if Big Show was too big, he could never suplex him or F5 him.
And make this. It's duly noted that up to this point, Brock Lesnar hasn't been pinned in singles competition on WWE television at this point yet.
Yeah.
But let's see if that could change. Right. Of course, Big Show came out. People barely even said anything. Didn't even boo him. Didn't even cheer him. There was hardly any ovation for Big Show. And then Lesnar then came out.
All you hear is, it's the big blow.
Yeah, then Lesnar with Paul Heyman came out. Of course, Lesnar got somewhat cheered. Some of the crowd were also still. That's why he said he was kind of a tweener here, transitioning from heel to face at this point in his career.
Yeah.
One of the few times that Brock would actually be considered a face in the WWE. He's more known as being the bad guy, though, or the heel, right?
Yep.
And Lesnar, of course, had his freaking ribs taped. And match started, and the crowd were strongly behind Lesnar, though, saying the "Let's Go Lesnar" chants, regardless of his tweener status at this point, right?
Well, they wanted Lesnar to win.
Of course, Show dominated early by tossing Lesnar across the ring, and followed by a splash in the corner to Lesnar, working on those ribs. Am I right? Of course, Lesnar then fought back and took down Big Show, and then they went out to the outside of the ring where Show freaking drove Lesnar rib first into the steel post, weakening the body part even more. Weakening his ribs even more, right?
Yep.
Of course, those two got back in the ring. Lesnar did manage to hit a back suplex on the Big Show, which everyone was surprised about. Of course, Big Show then fought back and actually had Lesnar in the corner, but Big Show missed a corner attack, and then Lesnar came back when he hit freaking an amazing, impressive German suplex on the freaking Show again, showing everyone that I can do all these moves to Big Show that no one else can. He was just that strong enough to do it regardless, right? Yeah, and then after this, that's what worked the crowd up, because they were really chanting for Lesnar now at this point, knowing he's doing this to a big, huge 500-pound man, right? And of course, Big Show and Lesnar ran the ropes. Lesnar ducked a clothesline, bumped into the referee, which the referee was down on the ground, right?
Yep.
Ref knocked that crucial point in match cliche, whatever. Lesnar then hit a belly-to-belly suplex on Show, and then Heyman then tossed the chair into the ring. Referee was down, encouraging Brock to use the chair or whatever he was planning. All right. And Lesnar hit him, and then Lesnar took the chair and hit him in the head with a chair, and hit Show in the head with a chair shot, right? And then Lesnar then picked Show up and hit an F5 onto the Big Show. Right. And then a second referee then ran to the ring afterwards when Lesnar went for the cover, and that's when it happened. Ref counted 1, ref counted 2, but Heyman pulled the referee out of the ring. And then Heyman then punched the referee down. Yeah, and this is what actually happened. Lesnar realized what Heyman did, and then Heyman was freaking out. Of course, Lesnar went to freaking chase after him, but Big Show got back it and hit Lesnar in the ribs and the back with a steel chair. Then Lesnar nailed a chokeslam onto the steel chair, and then the original referee got back up and went in the ring, and he counted the pinfall victory for the Big Show. And the new WWE champion was the Big Show. Anyway, your thoughts on the Big Show beating Lesnar with Paul Heyman turning his back on Lesnar?
It was good.
Relatively short match, but it was all right.
Yep.
Anyway, after the match, Heyman jumped into Big Show's arms and celebrated, and then they went all the way to the back. They went all the way back and got into a car, getting a limousine, leaving the arena.
Yeah.
While Big Show was gloating in Bischoff's face that he's the WWE champion on the way out.
Yeah.
Anyway, we go on to the next match, which they showed the video package for. It was the triple threat match for the WWE Tag Team titles between the champions Edge and Rey Mysterio, Angle and Benoit, and Eddie and Chavo Guerrero, back then known as the SmackDown 6. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it showed how Benoit and Angle won the titles, only to drop a few weeks later to Edge and Mysterio. The Guerreros getting involved in various ways. Which brought us to this triple threat elimination style match. Right. Yeah, and then freaking match started off after all three teams made their entrances.
Yep.
Match started off with Mysterio hitting a head scissors on Benoit, followed by a flapjack on the Benoit. Edge tagged in.
Did a separate intro besides Los Guerreros.
Yep. Yeah, Eddie and Chavo came out together while the other two teams came out separate.
Yeah.
Yeah, then, opening sequence, like I just talked about. Then Edge tagged in against Angle. And then Edge hit a forearm smash on the Angle, but Angle got out of the way, but he tagged in Chavo into the match.
Yeah.
It's like Edge hit a drop kick to Chavo, and then Taz Michael and explaining the rules so much, which I kind of understand the mockery, because how many times we got told during the match, this is how it's supposed to go, this is how it's supposed to go. I'm like, we get it. Right?
Yep.
Yeah, and then Mysterio got the tag in and he hit Chavo with an arm drag. So that Chavo, but Chavo then ended up getting the advantage on Ray, so Chavo tagged in Eddie, who took a head scissors from Ray here, knocking him down.
Yep.
Yep, and then Angle came in, missed a corner charge, sent onto Mysterio, and Angle went shoulder first into the steel ring post.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then Angle got the advantage on Rey Mysterio anyway when he tossed Mysterio in the air, which back on down to the ground with Rey landing on the back of his head, right? And then Angle freaking clotheslined Mysterio as he controlled Mysterio, tag in with and did some double.
My phone's being weird. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, my phone's being fucking weird.
But either way, I'm gonna try to be as brief as I can here. Angle and Benoit freaking double team Mysterio, and Benoit actually hit a snap suplex on Ray for a 2 count.
Yeah.
Then Angle had Mysterio grounded there with a front face lock hold, wear down hold. Then Angle then went for a German suplex, but Mysterio countered by landing on his feet, and Mysterio then hit a spin kick to take Angle down. Yeah, and then Guerrero's both dropped off the apron to avoid a tag from Angle. But so Angle decided to tag Benoit instead against Edge. Edge got the hat tag from Mysterio. Then Edge was on a cleaned house here. It's like hit a face for a slam on the Benoit, then a belly to back suplex Benoit, then Edge tossed Chavo over the top rope. Right? And then Mysterio took out Chavo with a Hurricane Rana over the top. Yeah, then Angle came back in, hit it from the drop toe hold on an Edge, leading into a crossface angle lock combination. How Edge not tapped out to that, I don't know. Right? Of course, either way, it doesn't matter whether we seen Edge tap out or not. It doesn't matter because freaking Ray came in, broke up the holds. Right? Then Hayden hit a corkscrew drive over the top, taking out Angle and Chavo onto the floor. And then Benoit then hit a German suplex on Edge, and then Eddie followed that up. Eddie Guerrero then came in, followed up with a sunset flip into a German suplex sequence, right?
Yep.
Yeah, but then Benoit got the advantage once again when he dumped Eddie over the top rope to the floor. And then Eddie then hit 3 rolling German suplexes on the Edge. And then Eddie Guerrero climbed up the top rope and hit a frog splash on the Edge. And while Eddie was going for the pin, Benoit hit the flying headbutt off the top rope on the Eddie, causing the pin to be broken.
Yep.
Yeah, but either way, Benoit and Edge were the legal men still. But at this point, who the heck's counting here? Angle then hit freaking Eddie with an angle slam. But then Benoit then put a crossface on the Edge, and then Angle then locked the angle lock on the Eddie, and then Chavo nailed freaking Benoit in the back. So when Benoit got up, he got mad, thinking the Angle hit him for some reason. Continuing their little spat storyline, right?
Well, that's because Angle had the title belt in his hand.
Well, Angle had the title belt in his hand. Benoit thought Angle was the one who nailed him with it. Oh yeah, then Chavo Actually, no, yeah. Chavo nailed Benoit on the back with the championship, and then Chavo then tossed the belt to Angle. And then that's what he's seen. That's what happened. A little classic lie, cheat, and steal right there.
Yeah.
The Mysterio then hit a missile drop kick on Benoit that sent Angle out of the ring. And then Ray then took Chavo out to the floor, and then back in the ring, Edge freaking hit a spear on the Benoit and pinned Benoit to eliminate Angle and Benoit from the match.
Yep.
Yeah, and then Angle and freaking Benoit just bickered back and forth after the fall, but before that, Angle then hit a German suplex on the Edge. Benoit then hit a German suplex on the Mysterio. Pretty much sore losers of getting eliminated. Benoit even hit a back suplex to Chavo, and then Angle hit an Angle slam on the Edge after the elimination.
Yep.
And of course, that's when Benoit and Angle left yelling at each other, going to the back.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, but then after the carnage was done by Benoit and Angle here, Eddie went for the pin on Edge, but got a 2 count. And then Eddie then freaking locked a sleeper on the Edge, right? Wearing him down in the corner. Chavo got the tag in and hit a drop kick on Edge. And then Eddie then hit a back suplex, and then Edge avoided the double clothesline attempt and hit a flapjack on both the Guerreros at the same time.
Yeah.
The Mysterio got the hot tag in and hit a head scissors on Chavo, followed by a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker on Eddie here. And then Edge freaking hit a spear on both Eddie and Chavo in the corner.
Yep.
Yeah, then Ray then hit freaking Eddie with a running drop kick in the corner as well. And then Eddie was then seated on the top rope, so Edge then launched Mysterio on the top rope into a Hurricane Rana. But Chavo was there to save Eddie from being pinned, so pin was broken up. Right?
Yep.
And then Ray freaking still battled back, hit a 619 on the Eddie Guerrero. And then the ref was telling Edge, get out of the ring, which that makes sense because you let everything else slide at this point, am I right? Despite who the legal man was.
Yeah.
So Chavo hit Ray in the back with a tag team championship belt again, just like he did with Benoit earlier in the match.
Yep.
Then Eddie applied the lasso from El Paso submission move, and Edge couldn't break it up the submission in time, and then Edge and Rey Mysterio tapped out.
Yep.
Thus, the winners and new tag team champions, Eddie and Chavo Guerrero here.
Yep.
Your thoughts on this triple threat elimination tag match?
It was good.
Yeah, it was a great match. At this point, I thought it was the best match of the night. Up to this point, but we still got one more match to talk about here.
Yep.
And I'm pretty sure you know what match that is, but before we talk about it, Chris Nowinski, your favorite portion here.
No.
Chris Nowinski came out.
No, but it's yours.
Chris Nowinski came out wearing his Harvard jacket, your boy.
No, it's yours.
And he insulted the New York crowd, and pretty much for calling them stupid, right?
Yep.
And of course, Chris Nowinski from Raw, that prompted SmackDown's Matt Hardy version 1 to come out.
Yep. And say that they're not stupid, they're losers.
Yes, at first Matt was cheering. He goes, these people aren't stupid, they're losers. And then they had a little debate. Little question I asked the fans here. Are you stupid or are you losers? Nope, they're stupid. I was thinking, okay, that's freaking stupid. They should have just called them stupid losers. That's what you are.
The losers?
So, John, are you stupid? So, Riptides, are you stupid or are you a loser?
I think you're the stupider.
Yeah, and then Matt was like, who said Raw and SmackDown time couldn't get along? You guys are stupid losers. Of course, then that's when you hear the infamous, famous music.
Holler if you hear me.
Yep, the sirens came out, the sirens sounded, and Scott Steiner made his WWE return.
Yeah.
Yep. And pretty much he took out both freaking Matt Hardy and Chris Nowinski.
Yep, he took him out.
Yeah, and then freaking... Yeah, and then freaking Steiner got a mic, and he uttered this catchphrase, to all my freaks in New York City, Big Papa Pump is your hookup, holler if you hear me. What they don't know is, what they edited out was right before Steiner cut that dang promo, he actually went up to the freaking, like, timekeeper ringside, and he said, give me a fucking mic. Something that he got in trouble for later. Right?
Yeah.
Saying you can't curse like that on TV or pay-per-view.
Yep.
And the reason I say this was Scott Steiner's return to WWE is because he was a part of the WWE roster in the early 90s with his brother Rick Steiner. That's a bit of history people don't remember.
Yeah, they were the Steiner brothers.
Yeah, that's a bit of history there, because when people think of Steiner Brothers, I think of WCW. Even though the Steiner Brothers did compete in WWE in the early 90s, too, for a brief period.
Right? Yeah, they did it in WWF for a little bit, and then they went to WCW.
And yes, we all know Scott Steiner was your favorite. What's your favorite wrestler back then? Hell, your favorite freaking rivalry you had was just around the corner following this event.
That was your favorite, wasn't it?
Oh, you had to make me watch that damn garbage not once but twice. Well, technically once because I made you watch it the first time with our first encounter. But yeah, we're both even when it comes to that rivalry Triple H, which should never be discussed again. Anyway, the Elimination Chamber then was shown at the top, was shown being lowered down to the ring, signifying that the main event for the World Championship was next.
Yep.
Yeah, and then we see Shawn Michaels in the back, and before he can even get to the ring, Terry wanted to do an interview with Shawn Michaels saying, what makes you believe that you're going to be world champion at the end of this match? But before Michaels could answer it, we got interrupted by RNN, breaking news. That means Randy News Network back then.
Yes.
Randy Orton was in his rookie year, suffering a shoulder injury, and gave us an update saying that Noah's like, yeah, rehab my injured shoulder and everything's going well. Like, what?
Yeah.
It's like, what? We didn't need to know about that then. Funny, the guy who was considered like a loser-ass rookie back then ended up being one of the most tenured veterans in the business right now.
Right? Yeah, it's fucking catching up to Cena and Ric Flair.
Yep.
He's literally only 2 fucking championships away from catching up.
Yeah, I think at this point right now, Randy Orton's a 14-time world champion.
Yep.
Could be a 15-time world champion by next year. Who knows? But you know, we're not talking about current Randy Orton. We're talking about way back then. This was during Orton's rookie year.
Yeah.
That was all it. That's all Randy Orton contributed to this pay-per-view, saying, oh yeah, I'm going to be back in the ring soon. Who cares? Randy Orton would be back in the ring, like literally, I think 4 months from now, from this point, when he became a member of Evolution. All right.
Yeah.
Anyway, next they showed the video package to hype up the Elimination Chamber match, with all of them gunning for Triple H, who has been the champion since September.
Since he was given the title.
Yep, since he was given the World Championship. A lot of people don't know this, but the only reason Eric Bischoff gave Triple H the World Heavyweight title because he was the last person to actually hold that World Championship before the WWE title or the Undisputed title was formed into one championship.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's why he was just given the title. Yeah, and then Triple H freaking had history with Shawn Michaels at SummerSlam, defeating Van Dam to retain the world title for the first time on pay-per-view at Unforgiven. And let's not forget the horrible Katie Vick Angle storyline the month prior at No Mercy with Kane.
That shall not be spoken to the light of day.
And I ain't going to go into depth of what happened because it was bad enough I had to talk about it at No Mercy during that No Mercy review. Even though reviewing No Mercy 2002 was my idea, I believe.
Yep.
Back then, but either way, we don't want to talk about that. Yep. And then Triple H then was interviewed backstage by Jonathan Coachman. He also had Ric Flair standing by Triple H's side here. Triple H talked about how he's going to go up against 5 of the best wrestlers in the business, and that he was going to be walking out of MSG still the best, still the game, still the world champion, because he's that damn good. For right now, he's got a first-class ticket to hell, and he wants to know who's coming with him.
Yep.
Yep, so yeah, after the Elimination Chamber was lowered, your favorite, your boy, Raw General Manager Eric Bischoff came out to put over how brutal the Elimination Chamber match is, the structure is, and what the rules were of the match.
Yeah.
With the match saying that 4 contestants will be locked in the chamber, and every 5 minutes a new competitor will be entering the chamber match. And the only way to be eliminated was by pinfall or submission, and the last person standing is the world champion.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty much what the rules have been for every chamber match since, basically.
Yep.
Anyway, the first 4 people who made their entrances would be the first 4 to be locked in those chambers, right? Near ringside during this in this structure here. First one to come out was Chris Jericho, who was one half of the World Tag Team Champions at this point.
Yeah, I came out to Saliva singing King of the World.
Yes, and yeah, at this point, Jericho was a tag champion with Christian, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and then Booker T came out. He was the next one out. Then the next entrance was Kane coming out, right?
Shawn Michaels.
And then Shawn Michaels came out to a huge ovation.
Yep.
Which those were the 4 men in the locked in the chambers. Then the 2 starting out the match we would find out would be Rob Van Dam and world champion Triple H.
Yep.
And of course, I would love to point out 2 facts before we actually get into the match. Jerry Lawler even said, what happens like this first 5 or 10 minutes if Triple H actually was pinned and eliminated? Well, thanks, Doc Obvious. That would guarantee us a new world champion. Right?
Yeah.
And another thing. Actually, no. And another thing. Jim Ross, or 2 more other things. Jim Ross talked about Shawn Michaels' last Survivor Series appearance, which was at the controversial 97 event, am I right? Where nothing happened in the main event that would be talked about to death freaking 20-some years later.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, and this is just a personal example. Let's just talk about how horrible Shawn Michaels' trunks were right now. Why brown?
I don't know.
And apparently those trunks were unfinished. They were supposed to have more designs on them for Shawn Michaels' attire, but it didn't work. They were unfinished. So yeah, you just had H on one side, a heart on the ass, and another H on the other side. And they were shit brown. And he was wearing brown wrestling cowboy boots too. To boot for this world title match.
Yep.
Triple H even told the story he was getting ready in the back. obviously in the locker room, he looked at Shawn where he just couldn't stop staring. He goes, and Shawn was just like, what? He goes, oh, nothing. Just getting ready, nothing. I guess freaking Triple H couldn't keep his eye off of Shawn Michaels' brown pants, wondering why the hell is he wearing that. Right?
No.
But, whatever. Whatever. Funny attire aside, this was Shawn Michaels' first match back since SummerSlam, couple months, 3 months prior. Right?
Yeah.
And, here we go. Match started off, like I said, with Van Dam and Triple H starting off this matchup here. Van Dam started by nailing Triple H with a spinning heel kick early on. And, of course, Hunter then fought back with his knee smash on Van Dam. And then Triple H elevated Van Dam with a back body drop over the ropes. Van Dam Van Dam was the one who hit the back body drop over the ropes, hitting Triple H onto the steel outside the ring, which the steel floor was leveled with the ring floor. They made sure to point that out as well. Right?
Yep.
And then Van Dam then whipped Hunter face first into the steel wall of the chamber, or should we say the chain wall of the chamber itself. And by that point, Triple H was busted open already. Yeah, and they're talking about... Yeah, and then freaking Van Dam then back in the ring hit a rolling thunder from the ring over the top rope onto Hunter under the steel grating, the steel floor on the outside.
Yep.
Which that looked like it hurt to take either way. And of course, at this point, Van Dam tried to climb to the pod above Jericho, which Jericho grabbed freaking Van Dam's freaking leg to stop him, telling us, the viewers, that, hey, doesn't matter if you're locked in the pod, if someone goes up there, you can still stop them from doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
Right. Which that would be like a heelish move anyway for a guy like Jericho at this time who was a heel to do. Right?
Yep.
But it didn't really work. Van Dam jumped off the top rope on Hunter onto the steel grate anyway. Right?
Yep.
Yeah, then Triple H then staggered back in the ring with Van Dam right behind him back in the ring as well. Yeah, and then the 5 minutes came up, and then everyone was wondering who's the next one going to be in the chamber, which turned out to be
Jericho.
Which turned out to be Chris Jericho. Jericho was the third one in the ring. And then as soon as Jericho got in there, he walked right into a spin kick from Van Dam. And then Van Dam also hit a standing moonsault for a 2 count on Jericho.
Yep.
Yeah, and then Jericho then jumped off the top rope with a standing side kick and a clothesline that sent Jericho over the top onto the freaking the steel floor outside the ring.
Yep.
Already then jumped at Jericho, who moved, and Van Dam was hung on the side of the chamber.
Yep.
As if he was Spider-Man or Spooderman. Just right there.
Spider-Man.
Telling the audience, everyone else, like, oh, you can climb on the wall too and do these moves. Right?
Yeah.
Then already jumped back on a Jericho, take him down. Then Hunter came in and hit a clothesline. And then Hunter then hit a clothesline to Van Dam to knock him back down again.
Yep.
Yeah, and then Jericho then hit a back suplex on the Van Dam, and Triple H and Jericho worked together with RVD for a few minutes trying to wear RVD down.
Yep.
Probably him to be eliminated. Then they whipped Jericho, and then they whipped Van Dam back first into the steel chamber with several times, injuring or weakening Van Dam's back up. Of course, Van Dam then tried to come back, but Hunter dropped him with a DDT, knocking him down again.
Yep.
And then number 4 then came out, which was Booker T, right?
Yep.
And then Booker T came in like a house of fire with a flurry of punches and kicks to both Hunter and Jericho before they knocked him out of the ring. Then Booker then did a spin-a-rooney and then a spin kick but then Booker then hit Van Dam with a spin kick for a 2 count. Then Van Dam came back with a step over heel kick for a 2 count on Booker here. Right?
Yep.
Yeah, and then a jumping side kick by Booker, and then Booker then hit a jumping side kick on Van Dam also for a 2 count. Then Triple H got back in and was dropped with an axe kick by Booker T. And then Van Dam also dropped Jericho down with a backdrop as well. Right?
Yep.
And that's when it happened. Van Dam went to the top rope looking for a frog splash, right? But then he saw there was this empty pod, so he jumped on top of it. And then Van Dam then jumped off with what looked like to be a frog splash attempt, but he didn't get all of it. And let's just say the landing was awkward considering he crushed Triple H's larynx with his knee.
Yeah.
Which actually, that was legit. Triple H's throat was completely crushed to where he was bleeding out the mouth, but he still had the gall to finish the match, or the toughness to finish the match. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, Triple H was down on the ring grabbing at his throat because it just got crushed by Van Dam. And the referee was holding up the dreaded X sign, symbolizing that there's an injury that's taking place here. And so signal the wrestlers lay off for a while. Right?
Yeah.
But then Booker then hit a missile drop kick to Van Dam and pinned him to eliminate him. Right?
Yeah.
So Van Dam's been eliminated. Yeah, and then Jericho then hit a bulldog on Triple H, but missed a lion salt. Or no, Jericho hit a bulldog on Booker, then missed a lion salt. And Booker then nailed a knee. Then Booker then nailed a spine buster on Jericho for a 2 count. And at this point, meanwhile, Triple H was in the corner trying to get his wind back. Because of his throat after his throat injury, which he had a hard time doing on this night, but Triple H was going to tough it out anyway. Number five entrant Kane came out, and he hit clotheslines, and he had clotheslines for punches for Jericho and Booker. Kane then worked on Jericho on the grate on the outside of the ring, as he sent Jericho, and he also sent Jericho face first into the cage. Then Kane whipped Jericho through the plexiglass of one of the chambers, right in that infamous first chamber bump.
Yeah, that was so funny. Jerry's like, "Oh, it's bulletproof, but it's not Kane proof."
Yeah, bulletproof my ass. Right?
Plexiglass is bulletproof to a certain extent, but it wasn't Kane proof.
Yeah, then Booker was back in the ring working on Kane. And then Booker then bounced off the roof. Jericho hit a low blow, and then Kane hit a choke slam on Booker.
Yep.
And then Jericho hit a lion salt on Booker to get the pin and eliminate him. So Booker T got eliminated. So Booker T is out of competition here.
Yep.
Then Kane tossed Jericho out of the ring. And then Jericho was obviously bleeding at this point. Right?
Yeah. Well, he was bleeding when he hit Booker T because he got thrown through the fucking plexiglass, which cut his head open.
Yep. Yeah, and then Kane and Jericho on the outside of the ring, and then Kane slammed Jericho into the ring. Then freaking Kane knocked down Triple H with a punch down, right?
Yep.
And then Kane then suplexed Jericho and got a 2 count. Triple H at this point then climbed up the rope for whatever reason, but Kane slammed him off the rope, doing the whole Ric Flair bump off the top rope, I see. Right?
Yep.
Then Jericho then hit a missile drop kick on Kane, sitting the Big Red Machine down temporarily. And that's when, and then the countdown came down. That's when number 6, the final entrant, Shawn Michaels, came out into the match. Yeah, then Michaels, then first nailed a flying forearm smash that knocked Kane down. Of course, Kane then tried to bow back by whipping Michaels into the corner, but Michaels did his upside down bump all the way back into the ring like he's known for doing in the corner. Yep. Yeah, and then Kane hit a double choke, had a double chokehold on Jericho, which he slammed Jericho down with.
Yep.
And then Kane then hit a choke slam on Michaels. Then he hit a choke slam on Triple H, and then he hit a choke slam on Jericho as well. And that obviously, so Kane choke slammed all three men. So
he choked all three men, yes.
He choke slammed all three men, and then Kane then tried to deliver a tombstone pile driver onto Triple H, but Triple H avoided it and shoved Kane. Yeah, and then afterwards, Triple H shoved Kane into Michaels, who Michaels hit him with a super kick.
Yeah.
Then immediately followed, Triple H hit a pedigree on Kane, and then Jericho then hit a lion salt on Kane to get the 3 and eliminate Kane from the match.
Yep.
So it took 3 finishers to eliminate Kane out of this match. Right? Yeah.
Well, because he was a big guy and he fucking just took out everyone.
Yeah, and then following Kane's elimination, Jericho sent Michaels over the top rope with a clothesline and then whipped him into the cage a few times on the outside. At this point, it was a story of Jericho and Triple H working together on Michaels. Since those,
Jericho telling Triple H we have to beat this ass.
Yes. Then Jericho then hit a running splash to the back of Michaels. And obviously, some had to give at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then and then Triple H and Michaels kept sending Triple H and Jericho kept sending Michaels into the cage repeatedly, and also gave him a bunch of punches and kicks. Michaels at this point was busted open, right?
Yep.
But then Michaels then tried to battle back with a clothesline on Triple H that sent him back over the top, back into the ring. Yeah, but then Jericho then nailed Michaels with a back body drop that sent Michaels back first into the steel. Right?
Yeah.
Back in the ring, Michaels got the advantage a little bit back in the ring when he hit a flying forearm on the Triple H, and he did a kip, and then he did a signature kip up, right?
Yep.
Of course, then Jericho then freaking ended Michaels' momentum there with a bulldog onto Michaels, followed by a lion salt for a 2 count. At this point, everyone thought that Michael was done, right? But no.
Yeah.
Yeah, then Michaels got his Michaels got his foot up to prevent a corner attack. And there he hit a moonsault off the top, leading to a 2 count on Jericho. Alright.
Yep.
Yeah, then Michaels decided, you know what, I'm gonna lock a Boston Crab into Jericho, but Triple H showed up with a DDT on Michaels, leading to a 2 count for Triple H.
Yep.
At this point, no one could tell who had the advantage here, right?
Yeah, surprisingly, Triple H could actually still fucking wrestle with his throat like that, but...
being crushed like it was.
Yep.
Yeah, but Triple H hit a DDT on Michaels, leading to a 2 count as Triple H pulled Jericho off of Michaels.
Yep.
Which caused friction because I guess Triple H for his personal ego, wanted to be the one to eliminate Michaels instead. Right?
Yeah, well, that's why I said that also prompted Chris Jericho to say, we gotta beat this ass.
Yep. Of course, Jericho and Triple H then started brawling with each other, with Triple H nailing a clothesline and a face buster for 2 count.
Yep.
On Jericho. Then Triple H then set up Jericho for a pedigree, but Jericho fought out of it and applied the walls of Jericho onto Triple H, who, let's remind you, had a crushed throat, could barely breathe as is, and he's taking submission holds.
Yep.
On top of all the physical activity he's already been in this match. Of course, Michaels then got back to his feet and then nailed Jericho with a sweet chin music out of nowhere and pinned Jericho to eliminate him.
Yep.
So that meant the last two in this elimination chamber was Triple H and Michaels, two former friends and storyline-wise, facing off for the world title one-on-one here.
Yep.
With one more worse than the other. Right?
Yep.
Anyway, Triple H then hit a spine buster, followed by a back body drop over the top that sent Michaels crashing the outside to the steel floor. Right. Then Triple H gave Michaels a slingshot into one of the plexiglass pods that shattered. That looked devastating. Both guys were busted up. Both guys were hurt.
Yep.
Back in the ring, Triple H got a 2 count, then Triple H then nailed a face buster, followed by a clothesline that sent Michaels over the top of the floor once again. Right?
Yep.
Of course, before Triple H could really capitalize on it, Michaels did freaking come back with a slingshot that sent Triple H into the cage and a clothesline, and Michaels also followed that up with a clothesline that sent Triple H back into the ring. Right?
Yep.
Then Michaels climbed the top rope, but then he decided, I'm gonna go to the top of the pod too, and he jumped off with his signature flying elbow drop to the chest of Triple H. Right. Then Michaels was setting up for a sweet chin music. Of course, when he went for the super kick, Triple H caught the boot and then he hit a pedigree. Of course, at this point, Triple H was too tired to cover, so he couldn't do it immediately, right?
Yeah.
So he slowly crawled over to down Michaels with one arm try to get the pin, but Michaels somehow kicked out at 2. Right?
Yep.
Then Michaels then hit a back. Yeah, but then freaking Triple H at this point was going for another pedigree, but Michaels hit a back body drop to get out of the pedigree position. Michaels then went to the corner. And then at this point, Triple H got up, and then Michaels then was able to hit the sweet chin music super kick for the 3 count. And to win the world heavyweight championship. Michaels' 4th world title overall, and his final world championship, too.
Yep.
Your thoughts on the first ever Elimination Chamber match?
It was brutal.
Yep. Yeah, and obviously everyone was happy about this win also, and there was a lot of blood here, a lot of violence in this match. Obviously, to me, this was the best match of the night. Obviously, and Michael celebrated as the entire ring got covered in confetti with his music playing.
Yep.
And that's how Survivor Series fade to black.
Yep.
Anyway, now that we reviewed this show all the way through and talking about the matches, the winners, and everything. Like I say, every review, we go to our favorite freaking, part of the podcast review here. And that's the sound of dogs barking. I mean, that's our rating system. Anyway, first matchup, Bubba Ray Dudley being the sole survivor of the Elimination Tables match. Overall, I gave that match 4 out of 5.
Yeah. Come on, guys.
You're like, about the same. Billy Kidman defeating Jamie Noble to become the new Cruiserweight champion here. I give that one 4 out of 5.
I give it a 3. Kenny, come on. Kenny.
Anyway, Victoria defeating Trish Stratus in that women's championship hardcore match to become the new women's champion. I also gave that one 4 out of 5.
That one, yeah, that's a 4 out of 5.
Yep.
Come on, dude.
Big Show defeating Brock Lesnar to win the WWE Championship after Paul Heyman turned on Brock. It was fine for what it was. I gave that one a 3.5 out of 5.
I gave that a 4.
You just enjoyed it slightly more than I did, right?
Probably.
Eddie and Chavo Guerrero winning the WWE Tag Team Championships in that triple threat elimination tag match. I gave that 4 3/4 out of 5.
It was a 3.
And of course, the main event was Shawn Michaels winning the first ever Elimination Chamber match to become the World Heavyweight Championship. 5 out of 5.
Yeah.
And ironically here, if you've seen the trend here for this show, every championship that was on the line at this event changed hands, by the way.
Yep.
Not one championship was retained. The only champion that walked out with their title was Jericho, and that was a tag belt.
Yep.
That wasn't even defended.
Technically, not all titles were up on there.
But there was no World Tag Team title match, so Jericho didn't have to worry. But all the belts that were on the line at this show changed hands. That was the trend.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if you came into the Survivor Series 2002 as a champion, you would lose. That's pretty much how they booked it. Right?
Yep.
So, my final grade for the 2002 Survivor Series is a solid A.
I say about a. Yeah, I guess an A.
Yeah. And I don't give out A grades that often. It's one of those ones that are like, I'm impressed with it. Every match I felt delivered, despite how long or short they really were. And of course, this was the event that had the first ever Elimination Chamber match.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's our thoughts in our review about the 2002 Survivor Series event. So, next week is your choice. So, but we also have the 2024 Survivor Series this weekend. So just like last time, you got a choice. You can tell us now what next week's retro review, or will you tell us after the Survivor Series this year?
It'll be after.
Oh, you're going to leave it a mystery again, huh?
Yes.
Yeah, so I guess that's for next week. This Sunday, Survivor Series 2024 will be reviewed, so I guess you'll have to find out what our next freaking retro review is at the end of that one.
Yep.
So until then, we will talk to y'all later. Peace.
Deuces.